Good morning, my fellow Bahamians. This morning, on behalf of candidates and the executive team of the Coalition of Independents, we decided that we should have a press conference with regards to uh, the ruling that was circulated on Facebook, through the news, also WhatsApp, with regards to our leader, Lincoln Bean. My fellow Bahamians, this morning, I want to let Bahamian people know that this is our views, this is our opinion of what we saw. I had an opportunity to read the judge ruling, and as an attorney at court, I also had an opportunity to speak to Mr. Lincoln Bean. And of course, he had to produce some documents to me. After comparing the documents that I saw that Mr. Bain presented to me and the executive team and the judge ruling, there were a lot of inconsistencies. Firstly, I need to talk about the agreement. The agreement was very vague. I asked Mr. Bain if the persons who had signed the agreement were they able to come to court to give evidence. Of course, he said no, they were not there. That was one of my big issues because anytime there's an agreement that is signed by a witness, the courts have a duty to verify that all these persons were there present during the time this agreement was signed. And my fellow Behemoths, not only that, there's another criteria. They must produce a copy of their identification attached to that agreement to make sure that these are the persons who were there to sign that agreement. All of that was not done. And therefore, we decided that since the newspapers and have all of this information out there, that Mr. Bean need to respond when he decided, or if he decided to appeal this ruling. And I want to let Bahamian people know something, that looking at all of these inconsistencies with the judge ruling and the evidence that Mr. Bain presented, we would have advised Mr. Bain to appeal this ruling. It is up to him whether he's going to appeal or not. And another issue that came out to me is that she said it was an investment plan. We all know what happens when you invest your money. You're taking a chance. And if the investment goes belly up, everything falls away. So I don't understand what is going on, but we will continue to look at it. I have decided to bring on some other counsel to advise us as to what I have seen, to make sure that we are all on the same page. And therefore, Bahamians today, we decided that we're going to stand with Mr. Bain with all of this inconsistencies that is happening now. And finally, my Bahamian people, before I bring Mr. Bain on, you will see parts of the correspondence between Mr. Bain and Ms. Rose. And no part in her email she ever mentioned that she had given any funds at all. And even the inconsistencies when the agreement happened, Mr. Bain has everything in email. I was quite shocked when I saw it, because when I looked at everything, I said, you need some proof. There is the proof, and we will give the papers some of this evidence that Mr. Bain had stated a corresponding between him on this road. Let me tell the Bahamian people something. But for this evidence, I would have believed that woman. Because Mr. Bain had documented evidence to contradict what she's saying, that's when I decided, listen to me, just a red flag, too much inconsistencies. And at this time, I'm going to bring Mr. Bain on a hint to tell the Bahamian people how we felt and what his intentions are with regards to this case.
Good morning. I want to thank everyone for being here. The reason that we are here is because of accountability, we believe in transparency, and we believe that every single leader or anyone who aspires to be a leader in this country should submit themselves to people. When there are things that people have questions about, we feel that every leader in the country must answer people. But run away from them. They must deal with it and deal with it head on. Again, this is a model that was a very old model where a person decided that they wanted to invest in the finance, which is our opinion. A person wanted to be able to participate in our store, the product plan. As a philanthropist, I always gave entrepreneurs opportunities, and that is done. There are several entrepreneurs allowed to step up and sell their wares from our stores rent free. A minor percentage of sales. And so she wanted an opportunity similar. And so she came up with just that. He was buying into a part of the business that we were involved in. He initially wanted to go into the first business, decided she wanted to after that, go into the pitch, which was much more. There was competition in the country. We were already in that business, so we now. And so a few months after that, we had a fire. And after the fire, we decided she needed to find a way to get her money back. But she concocted a scheme to make it seem like she had done something personally. All of the emails that we have that we're presenting to you, this is not the case. For example, the court case shows that she presented documents saying we signed agreements on April 20th, April 23rd, and May 4th. But of course, we have evidence here. This is her emails. These were presented in the court that she gave to me. The subject of all of these emails actually are talking about this business of not some strange investment statement. The first email is on May 3rd, and remember she said on May 4th, she signed something. But the first is on May 3rd, and she said, I understand you are very busy at this time, trying to get your show on the road. I need some time to see how I can start moving forward with something. Feeling like I'm continuing and to go in circles, and I want a break. And so this doesn't sound like someone who has already entered into an agreement with you, already given you something. They will continue. This unproductive feeling is overwhelming. Do not mean to bombard you with my problem. I cannot seem to get on with that, get you on that number more. Always an answer machine. Again, that's the end of the email. This is on May 3rd. If we had signed an agreement a few days ago, we could get in touch with you at some point in this email. Said, hey, I just gave you my money, and now I can't get that. Nothing about that. We don't see anything like that in this. And this is on the 3rd. We can get them. Moving forward, on May 5th, she said I signed it on May 4th. But on May 5th, she again said she can't catch the field that I belong to, etc. But yet you have an agreement where you say that I signed and put this sign on May 4th. It says I have been trying to reach you all day, but to no avail. The only conclusion I can come to is that you have blocked my text messages and my calls. Or when you see my number, or shoot a text or state otherwise. If you have changed your mind about helping me, or I am pestering you, please let me know. You see, I am at the end of my rope, and I need information and the procedure is getting set up with the opportunity that you afforded me. And if that is still open to me, I do not want to fish from you. I want to be taught how to fish. Yeah, I understand you may not have time right now. Just tell me that. Then I know that you are not an option for help. And then I can try to seek it from someone else, somewhere else. Again, this is the fifth. Presented to the court by her was a false document stating that on May 4th, he signed an agreement. But yet on May 5th, you cannot catch up. You are still talking about going into an agreement. This is clear as day to anyone. You don't need a law degree to see that something untoward is going on. And so it talks about a situation as you read the rest of the email, you will see that there's no mention of the funds being there's no mention of that. And based on these emails alone, it is an absolute impossibility for me to sign any previous agreement for this with state. The agreements were doctored. I don't think that they thought that I would have this evidence. I think that they thought because of the fire, all of the evidence was gone. And someone actually came forward and said what happened, what transpired, what they did, and risked themselves being arrested. I don't know anyone who loves me that much. But someone came forward. Now, the judge said that he didn't think the person was credible because of one. While standing in the stand, he was asked to write 3 times. Standing in the stand, without a desk or he had breath, standing in the stand, given a piece of paper, and said, reproduce this signature from years ago. I can, my signature, same. And he was asked to stand there and he reproduced the signature. My opinion, the second one, he said, okay, that's her opinion, and she's entitled to that. But our opinion is this. But he was standing in the stand, piece of paper. And so this is where we go. The next major, she also said that his demeanor, I don't know, great. The next major thing we have with this is that the way the lady said that it is actually impossible. She claimed to have received a check from the credit union, and that check was written in her name, and somehow she gave me a check, $36,000. That was in her name, and somehow I was able to deposit that by account. That is impossible. It is genius. It did not happen. It did work. And so that was brought up in court. And so when we are faced with that, as far as our lawyers are concerned, this thing goes away because we're saying that is how it is. It's impossible. And that is impossible. I mean, categorically. And there are other issues in there with the judge said that I received $20,000 at no point during the speech that admitted to receiving that $20,000. Brought up fact that was important. And that is where the issue that came up. She asked, okay, how did you take it? He said, I got a check from the credit union, and she gave that to me, the deposit of my first account. That is impossible. There's no bank in the world that can do that. She put a bank statement. She did not bring a bank statement. She asked to bring a check, some statement, anything. She was able to bring nothing. No witnesses, no evidence other than these alleged fraud documents. She brought nothing. Was she able to bring a check? She was not able to bring a copy. She brought nothing. And so these and other matters cost extremely discouraging. There are other things. I bet you will see other things presented now. So I want to open this up to question. If there's any wrongdoing that I have never done, I have tried my best to see those that I have wrong in my life and make recompense. There's no one who hasn't done anything. But this is not. And so I stand by saying that courts are in charge, and they will make the final decision. Once we Court of Appeal is the Privy Council. But on this one, there is no way that anyone, even someone without a lawyer, like this, that okay, you didn't the person made it clear to say that's certain. At this point, yes, we are looking for appeal. We're going to make the final decision once we talk to the attorneys together, and we are moving. It is our plan. So yes, and what is information was presented for, and what is disturbing to me is that we saw none of this. There were even inconsistencies in the judgment itself that said that I collect $40,000, and they said I got two checks, and then they said one check, one, and there was two more checks, 13, that's total $13,000. That was 40,000. And now you're saying three checks, but you said checks. And there's a lot of inconsistencies. If all of you want to look at that, see these kinds
else later that's now was totally disregarded judgments on basic.
They were disregarded. And the fact that the lady, the way she said she paid me, when it came up in court, it was almost like this is the end of it. Can't get past. And so this had gone forward for a while. And what was disturbing to me is that all of a sudden, the judgment came about. There was, my lawyer told me that there was some hearing, that's his words, that there was a hearing that he was not invited to, and I was not invited. It just came up mysteriously after some time, and we were not invited to this hearing. And all of a sudden, this judgment is done in writing, and immediately it goes to media before we get it. And so it's on the media and social media, which makes me think that there was something more behind this. Because why wouldn't we be invited? If there was a hearing, why wouldn't we be invited? But there's some judgment that's written up and goes straight to social media and straight. That is very disturbing. That's a very good question. Um, I have met with the executive of the management. They've gone to because I am very open and everyone have I let them see. And on seeing this, even without even getting asked, they decided that there's something more. There's a feeling that there's a political, and so they decided to support as time. I understand if in the end the court says they have to pay someone, I'm going to pay them. That's no problem. The court has the final say. All right. But this, I think that the court should look at this. And even if we have to take the Privy Council, the court should look at this and say, no way. And agree. Talking about no way that you take the evidence of that person. Right? And the only issue with credibility of the other side is that you said that you know about standing in court and the fact that stand up. And I was never asked. Like, the document that was used to compare my signature, they never asked me that my signature. And it was based on a copy of a text. Easiest thing to do for the court.
Tell them.
And no one in the courts never asked me, is this your signature? And they never did anything to prove that. When they were comparing it, they said, these are
Tell them about
the documents that she brought, two of them from May 23rd and May 4th at this time. He did not bring court. Court was asked, that was court documents. He was asked where are the, he said she didn't bring them. He was asked, try to contact them. She said, but she said, but you know that the defendant was objecting to the documents. Try to bring them. He said, you know that.
So what if you to the judge there and because from the outside from the public for
Yeah, it's a business dispute. There is no leader in this country politically who has not had some kind. It's a business dispute. She feels one way, I feel one way, that's why I come to court. It's not any other kind of a business dispute. Okay, and if we go to the appeal court and the appeal court says, oh, you have to pay for some technicality, then go to the Privy Council. And then if the Privy Council agrees with both courts, then you just pay. And that is it. It is very simple. But based on what you said, I strongly doubt. Now, I don't think that you should just based on facts and opinions, right? You should keep on the law. But I strongly doubt anyone looking at it seriously say, Sandra, and you had all of the evidence of facts. Now, what we can do, we can clear this all the time for the company. That
what's that you have
okay? Yeah, but I let the chairman send. Chairman, and you're going to see stuff in there that, like we said, this, and he found that's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to send. You're just going to have emails. Emails, etc., are going to be attached to it. So see everything.
And by the way, you could talk about the link that they put on the court. A lot of people say that it's a front court. No,
They report on examining product.
there's report, examining the court today. As long as you have to be there, speak about it. But that is how.
You didn't know.
Thank you so much.
See how it goes?
Right. Still,
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah. And by the way, hearsay evidence is inadmissible. When you come, anytime you say you get somebody from the bank.
Okay.
I'll see your name.
but you still